So what we're going to be talking about today is the central dogma of biology. And basically what this is the material flow of the genetic material throughout the body, and it is involved in DNA, then making RNA, and RNA then making proteins. So first let's talk about DNA and RNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid, and it is found in all living things, and it is the genetic material that makes up living things. Genetic material. And then RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. And this is in all living cells. And the main part of RNA is to make proteins. So, involved in making proteins. So the first part of this process is called transcription, and this is when a segment of DNA is copied into RNA. So this happens in the nucleus, and the nucleus just basically stores all information for cells that are needed to survive, and it has genetics in it and information to reproduce. And so the DNA is in the nucleus, it cannot leave the nucleus. So that's why this has to happen first, and it is copied into RNA by the enzyme RNA polymerase. So here's our DNA strand. We'll have A, T, G, C, C, A, T, G, C. So A goes to T, T goes to A, G goes to C, C goes to G, and so on. So next what happens once it is copied by the RNA polymerase, so it takes a strand of genetic material, and once it is RNA, it can then leave the nucleus. So here's the copy of it. And now this is taking place in the cytoplasm. And the cytoplasm is basically just the rest of the cell that is outside of the nucleus, and it just kind of protects the nucleus. And then this RNA is decoded by a ribosome. And so what a ribosome does is it decodes RNA into amino acid strands so that then the amino acids can then form proteins. And amino acids are basically just organic compounds. And yes, so now we actually cannot have T's in RNA. So all of the T's actually turn into A's. And then A then will bond with U. So now we have A, U, U, C, G, G, U, U, C, G. And so this is our amino acid strand, and now it forms the protein parts. So each of these three is a protein part. And that is how protein is formed from amino acids that is decoded from the ribosome from the RNA. And so proteins they are a basic need in living life and for living organisms, and they play a central role in biological processes. So some, just for example, we need them to survive, so proteins help with contractile motions, which is like muscles. They help in protection, so such as antibodies and immunity. Also structure. They have a lot of structure, so it's like support for the body. And also they aid in like hormonal. And so what this is like the hormonal, so insulin. And they also transport materials, so such as hemoglobin through the bloodstream and iron. So that is why this process is so important, because protein is needed in so many parts of our body in order to survive. And without protein, like without the DNA being coded into RNA and RNA then being formed into this amino acid strand into the protein parts, without these protein parts, we would not have like the same body as we have today, and we would not be able to function the same way as today. And that is why the central dogma of biology is so important.